So Gretchen Whitmer was at the Oval Office, and she didn't look that comfortable being there. And the most baffling thing is that Donald Trump praised her and said that she was a great person, that she was doing a great job, and people don't understand why did he do that. I'm here to explain, not only from a body language, but from a statement perspective as well. Trump, we are honored to have Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, great state of Michigan, and she has really done an excellent job and a very good person. What? This is real? No, this is not AI. This is for you to watch so you can confirm it by yourself.
We're honored to have Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan, great state of Michigan, and she's really done an excellent job and a very good person. And we're working on the Selfridge, as you know, the air base. We're trying to get the air base open, keep it open. I think, Gretchen, if you're there, and Matt Hall, the Speaker of the House of Michigan.
You see that Trump had his usual body language, his usual voice tone. There was no snark. There was no satire. He was not joking. He was being very serious about that. And he was making sure to, hey, Gretchen, are you there? And he's going to talk about with her just seconds later. And this means that he was serious. I see so many people saying in the comments, oh, he was just joking. He was just trying to be sarcastic. No, he was being serious. And I'm about to explain why. But first, let's see their exchange.
Has this gotten into any of the other lakes yet? Because you would think it would be pretty easy because they're all sort of connected. Governor?
It's why we're working so hard to make sure that, we work with the Army Corps and erect a barrier so that the Asian carp can't get into Lake Michigan. It'll devastate the ecosystem, the economy, tourism, and it's 20% of the world's fresh waters in the Great Lakes, Mr. President, which is why it's so important that as a nation we protect the pristine waters.
Notice that there was a very deferential body language from Gretchen. They were addressing this fish that could, I don't know, like cross the borders between the lakes, and that would be a bad thing. But again, she was first of all protecting herself with this folder. This folder was pretty much almost invisible because it was almost the same color of her jacket. But at the same time, she had a very welcoming and willing body language in the sense that her chin and her head was pushed forward. It's something that you do when you are interested in something, when you are deferential towards someone, you do that. You push your head forward. So I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can see it much better. She had this full-on eye contact. And most important, this was really interesting. She was tilting her head to one side. So there was not only attention, there was disposition, there was willingness to work together. So people were saying, okay, she's behaving in this way. And regarding her illustrator gestures, I'm going to mute this so we can see this without sound. You can see that while holding the folder with her right hand, she was trying to articulate and use her left hand as illustrator gestures to emphasize her comments, emphasize her words. And at some point, she did, look at that, she did a slight, maybe don't say that, bow. She was not bowing, but she was leaning a bit forward, leaning towards Trump. Again, all her body language was of, I wouldn't say submission, but I could say that it was really deferential towards Trump. It was warm. She was maybe she was taken aback by Trump's words, and that is the thing. That's why we are here to explain this. And just from a bit of background, Michigan Democratic Governor Gretchen Whitmer lets usher in, as President Trump says, a golden age of American manufacturing. Oh, right? This must have been afterwards. But the reality is that under her leadership, Michigan has lost more manufacturing jobs per capita than any other state since 2019. In fact, there's another number here. Since Governor Whitmer took office, only 2 states lost more manufacturing jobs than Michigan, California, and New York. Where are the jobs heading? Texas and Florida. Now, why did Trump say that she was doing an awesome job and she was a great person? That is the big question we have to make. Okay, she's really done an excellent job. Even if he was looking downwards, we saw his body language. He was being serious about this. The thing is that imagine that you voted for Gretchen Whitmer. Imagine, maybe you didn't. Whoever watches my show, I know that you wouldn't vote for Gretchen Whitmer. But let's say that you voted for Gretchen Whitmer, or you can imagine what kind of people votes for Democrats, and in this case, Whitmer. Can you imagine what is going to happen when you see the one that you voted for, Whitmer, in the Oval Office with Trump right there, and Trump praises her like this? What would you think? What do you think that would be the reaction of Democrat voters when, what did the orange man bat say about Whitmer? Does it mean that maybe she is on his side? Maybe is her puppy now? Is his puppy now? How is this possible? You will have so many questions. You will be triggered, and after that, not only you will be suspicious of why would Trump be praising Gretchen Whitmer, then you see that had effect on Whitmer's body language and the way that she spoke. Everybody's going to see this clip, especially Whitmer's voters, and they're going to see, oh, she's going for Trump now. She is deferential to Trump. Some of them are going to say, oh, she's so submissive now to Trump. Look at her, how she's interacting with him. Oh, she's kissing the ring. She's kissing Trump's ring. How is this possible? That is the reaction that they will have. And that is exactly what, or at least that is my theory of why Trump not only said those words, so make sure to interact with her to take her by surprise, because her body language while she was waiting there was completely closed. Like her face, I think that is her usual resting facial expression. Okay, I wouldn't say that she had a special expression. I think that that pretty much, I've seen many pictures of her, and this is basically her resting face. Okay, I'm not gonna say any other word about that. And her body language was okay-ish, but yeah, absolutely, the folder and the hands were being used as kind of a barrier, as kind of a protective barrier. And in some other angles, yeah, she was looking like she was making herself smaller. Oh, I don't want to be here. Maybe if I don't move, Trump will not see me, and most important, will not mention me. But Trump was going to mention her, but she couldn't imagine that he was going to praise her. And that's why she reacted the way that she reacted. It was on purpose. Thanks Ken Con for this as well. Wait, so Gretchen Whitmer, who oversaw, or rather looked the other way at the fraud in Michigan, was in the Oval Office while President Trump was signing off on the investigation into Chris Krebs? This is absolutely epic, and I'm pretty sure that Trump planned all this. And for those of you who don't remember, Chris Krebs, former director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, was fired by Trump in 2020 for debunking election fraud claims, and the memorandum targets Krebs for his alleged role in government censorship, as per a White House fact sheet from April 9, 2025. Whitmer's involvement is significant because Michigan faced allegations of election fraud in 2020, with critics pointing to mail-in ballots and restricted GOP oversight, and her presence during this signing may imply a political deal or pressure, as speculated by ex-users. So you put the lady in the room and you speak in a way that make her fan base go nuclear. Say that this is treason. This woman is no longer with us. She is a Trumper. Oh, she's a Trumper, and that is going to have an effect. That is going to have an effect. JP, Governor Whitmer present in the Oval Office for President Trump's signing of executive orders for Michigan. And President Trump, in 10 minutes, did more than she did or that she has done in 2 terms. Again, this is basically on purpose. This is how you take somebody by surprise. And this is how you, instead of criticizing, you can do the exact opposite. So many people on Trump's side, so many people on the MAGA camp were baffled by this. Why would you say that about Whitmer? But now you know this is a strategy that you can do on the spot. And this is the most important thing of this is that you do this kind of stuff without people knowing what they are getting into. You don't say anything that will prime them into thinking that they're going to be praised at that moment. No, you want the raw reaction in front of the cameras after you do that something that is going to absolutely rattle them, and they will feel, as Gretchen did, compelled to act deferential and thank you, and let's work in this together. And that is not going to help her with her fan base. As for Trump's fan base, if you're watching my show, maybe you can share my video with your friends so you can understand what did Trump do with those words. But again, I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss.